How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. So just real quick, we did a stream. Yes, was it? Yeah, yes. No, no, we did. I don't even know what's going on anymore. We're just streaming all the time. The last time I streamed, we did through the event stuff, and it seems to be pretty good. It pretty much auto uploads right away, and it pretty much kicks in right away as well. So, oh, let's turn that off. We don't need any of that echo. Actually, let me just mute this, and just in case we're getting that echo stuff. But anyway, thanks for popping in. We're just gonna be working on some Jesop King pages today. We've been working on these for the last little while, and we're gonna continue to work on this stuff, obviously, as trying to slowly build up some pages here so we can release the webcomic and all that good stuff. So right now we're doing the line art. We're in the I just finished this page today before clicking stream. We've got one other page we're gonna do line art with, and then we're gonna get inks. So I got about we'll say like 2 more hours that I can stream tonight. So how's it going, Matthew? If you guys have any questions or comments or needed help with anything, by all means jam it in the chat. I'll do my best to help. But anyway, just a little quick update. This page here has taken the longest out of the whole project, which is interesting because I knew this was the transition point in the story where now we actually get the story. It's not just the characters arguing back and forth. And again, it's very organic stuff, right? Like there's a lot of rocks and they're digging, and there's like some towers and stuff like that. But there's additional characters. They're not like highly anatomical or anything. They just look like little bears. So they're simple cartoony shapes. A lot of this is. But what I was interested in was seeing how long this would take me, because this stuff lets me know going forward when we start doing smaller stories and stuff. If I have something that's a little bit more elaborate, we'll say, it's super important to be aware how long something takes you, especially if, in my case, I'm trying to hit like a. So far, I think we're talking about like 2 pages a week update schedule. So seeing what juggles there, because at the other time too is it's not just how long the pages take, but like when you come home from work or whatever it is that you all do. Um, you know, how much energy you've got in the day and how much you actually want to spend on a project and all that good stuff. So let me just bring this speech bubble down a little bit here. How's it going, everybody in the chat? So I'm actually just going to switch this up here. Can I just grab that? Yeah. And move it out a little bit. So I'm getting a lot more used to the speech bubbles in Manga Studio, and they just keep impressing, to be honest with you. Everything about them, the more I use them, the more I'm just obviously getting the hang of how they work and how to adjust stuff. Uh, but all that's to say, I feel a little bit more confident in changing some stuff up. And you can see even the shape of the balloons. We talked about this a couple streams back. I'm kind of going pretty gross with the shape of them. Let me just see what that is. Let's make it a little bigger. But I think it gives them a little fun look to them. Okay, so all the lettering's already done. All I need to do now, and I wanted to save this for you guys. We do this with every page here. So when we're done this, the next thing we do is we're going to go through and we're just going to add line weight to everything. And we've already got our layers prepped and ready to go to do that. So let's go ahead and do this. So I think it's 6 is what the default. It's looking good. Then we get like the second shot here where we got a lot more elements in play here. So Momo, I think we're gonna go like, I don't know, like maybe a 15 with her. Yeah, that's alright. Can always adjust it, right? Those guys don't matter. The background, okay. So I think we have foreground rocks somewhere too, right? Okay, we got those guys. There it is. Okay. So this one we're gonna put up to like a 6. Maybe we'll go 7. I don't know how easy it is for you guys to see what it is I'm doing there. If you need me to zoom in or anything, just let me know. Matthew, you use Manga Studio as well? Cool. I think more and more people, they just start using it, leaving Photoshop, I suppose, for Manga Studio. Not that one's better than the other. Everybody's going to get different results with what they do, but it's just interesting to hear people like jumping around, doing their own thing here. Okay, so this guy, what do we do? 15? Is that what we have for? Yeah, he's like way up in the front. So you guys see, I don't know if you noticed here, let me show you here. So when I adjusted the um, the contour layer, check this out. So some stuff happens here. Man, I can't get it right. There you go. So we go 15. Sometimes it gets a little soft. I think if you go to like a monochrome, it'll tighten that up a little bit. But you can see it spills into the gutter a bit. That's okay. I know when I go to ink, I can just ink over top of that with white. It's not a big deal. So I'm not being too precious. I think a lot of people, when they're doing this digital stuff, because it's so different than like working with pen and paper for the most part, right? That tend to slow down a bit, and you start to like make sure every line's perfect because you have the tools available to do that. Um, and I guess it just sort of depends on how you like to work. So 7, how's that look over there? It's good. And I think the other ones are good. Hey, Mr. Billy, how's it going? Hey, John, do you watch cartoons and things? No, not really. The extent of my, I guess, cartoony sort of look is, and I don't like saying it, but like anime. Not anime, sorry, manga, because I don't really consider it cartoon stuff, but uh, maybe things that don't necessarily look like your traditional American comics. That'd be about the extent I go with that. I don't even have a controller here. And the main reason for that, honestly, is nothing against the, cartoons or anime. I've said a bunch of times with you guys that there was this habit that I used to do where I would like queue up old cartoon shows or even possibly new ones. And every Saturday I would get like cereal like I was when I was a kid, and I would just have like a 2 hour block of Saturday morning cartoons. So it's like 4 different shows, and it was actually really cool. I enjoyed it. But lately, all that I do is I go to work, come home, do all the stuff I need to do, and if I have a lot of like life grown up stuff to do, sometimes I don't like I might put like 30 minutes into something, and then I don't draw. But if I do have time, it's usually like tonight. I'll have I don't know 3 hours, like a comfortable 3 hours to draw, and then after that, it's like it's bedtime, or maybe like a half hour of a video game. I get about a half hour if I want to, and then I'm pushing like 10:30, and this is gonna sound lame. It pushes 10:30, and then it's like it's time for bed because if I don't go to bed, then it's gonna be tomorrow at work. Sucks. But I get up at like 6:30. Is that right? Yeah, 6:30, and I want to get that back to like 6 or 5, like I was telling you guys, so I can draw more. Um, but everybody does their own thing. And then on the weekends, like my weekends from work and stuff, usually then I'll, I can spend more time drawing, but I might play games or something a little bit more, but not too often. I feel guilty like watching cartoons and stuff and playing games. I guess it just sort of comes down to, and this isn't judging anybody at all. Just it's sort of what keeps you happy, right? That's my motto now. I used to always be like, well, you have to draw all the time, and if you're not working, somebody else is. All that stuff's true. When it comes down to it, in my opinion, nowadays anyway, it's do what makes you happy. You know that other people are working while you're playing games or messing around, right? Like that's nothing new. That's not going to change. You know that. So some people, you still want to have that life, that social life, or video games make you happy, or cartoons, or whatever, right? So just keep doing that, but be smart about it. Um, Change the way you draw so that you can still, if let's say comics is what you want to do, I'd recommend like maybe changing your art style, get a little simpler or something. That way you can still make comics and do other parts of your life that make you happy. Unless you're just into comics, that's all you like to do, then I'm sure we're not talking at all about the same kind of stuff. Hey Ben, how's it going? Hey Justin, hey Felix. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. Okay, so this page is done. So let's put this here. I'm just going to save it one more time. I'm just going to save a version for inks. I do wonder too, like I remember, oh man, because I preached a lot of that too, and there's part of it that I still think's true. If you go back, nobody will, but maybe you guys might remember us talking. Uh, People always have questions. How do I get better, John? How do I do this or that? And all that stuff's great questions. But really, it just gets down to you have to put in time to get better, right? So that's where the double-edged sword comes in, and where I'm sort of taking a step back in what I've been, I guess, militant about saying. Just because a lot of my growth, I guess, as an artist, is I've always been dancing around the edge of comic book artists. You know, like wanting to be that, but at the same time, there's a huge chunk of time when I wanted to do concept art for like video games, especially, right? And lo and behold, I fell into the job, and that's what I'm doing now. It might not be necessarily the 100% the style I would have necessarily gone into. It's a lot more cartoony, but in hindsight, like I'm looking at even what I'm doing now, and this right here is still cartoony, and it's a lot more cartoony than what I used to do. And you know, I'm happy. I enjoy doing it, uh, and it's interesting. It's just an interesting way. And anyway, what I'm trying to say was that for a long time there was I would listen to like Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Joe Madureira, all these interviews and stuff I could get, and everybody was always saying roughly the same thing of like you have to keep drawing comic books, right? Pages and pages and pages, go to conventions and give to editors and all that stuff. But I was doing none of those things. I was doing some comic book stuff for work, but that's just because I could draw. You know, I drew a lot of anatomy and stuff, but it was never like. That's why I tell you guys, if you want to do comics, you have to be drawing comic books. And if you're not drawing comic books, like even your own, if you're not drawing them, just ask yourself why. Don't do what I did and wait till you're like 34 to finally realize that it's like it's not that I don't want to do comic books. It's just that I don't want to do a certain style of comic books, and video games and the other areas that I just said that make you happy are what makes it click for you, right? And that's not to say you wouldn't do those things. I say this pretty much every stream, what I'm saying now. But just, you have to know what you're getting into, right? And if you want to work for, let's say, the big guys, then you have to look at the comic book shelves. You have to do at least that. In order to do just that, you have to give up quite a bit because it takes a long time to do those comic pages. And some people that makes them happy, right? Doing that. So if it makes you happy, then do it. If it doesn't, if the idea of it doesn't, then don't do the grind. Don't put all that time in there. In my opinion, you're better off just doing your own thing or hooking up with other people that are in the same kind of mindset. You know, man. You know how many comics I've seen, like even on YouTube, like comic book artists. I was searching the other day, and I was seeing all this stuff that people were doing, and it was like I would never have considered to do that stuff because it was too, I don't know, maybe not simple, but it was too like, what's a good word that I can use for it? Not too simple, but maybe just too quick. I don't know if you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. It's not necessarily that it's a simple drawing. It's that like meme comics and stuff that are around, where they you can tell that they're done quickly. And that mentality that I always had of like, well, Marvel Comics is really the only way that you do money or you make money and a living and get honor or pedigree or any stupid shit like that. That affected a lot of what I was doing. We're getting into some weird stuff here. Anyway, I'm gonna keep seeing what you guys are saying. But yeah, just do what makes you happy. But and I just want to highlight that one more time. Just do obviously what makes you happy. Include things in your life that make you happy. If you don't like socializing with people and stuff, then don't worry about that. Just do your art. But don't use that as an excuse not to work your butt off. In my opinion, try to have that like that a little bit of that back and forth there. If that makes any sense to you at all. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's kill that. We're gonna combine these. These are the breakdowns. Hey Shane, how's it going? I think you're taking off. Well, thanks for popping in. You think your work reflects Saturday morning cartoons and early anime? Good stuff. Okay, let's get our timer going here. Cool. Okay. Okay. And we're going to duplicate this. Put it over here. kill that. And I need my reference what these guys look like over here. Okay. All right. So we need 1, 2, 3 panels. Hey Shane, how's it going? Okay, so first panel we've got Momo. Two bows and background. I'll probably be streaming till about 10, so about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Okay. Sorry, I don't have too much real estate here, guys. I didn't see what you guys are saying. See you later, Matthew. Awesome, Matador. Good for you, man. Those days are rare, eh? Justin, John, how do you select and fill with white when you ink? How do you select and fill with... Sorry, what? How do you select and fill with white when you ink? Oh, you mean like what I just did with Momo's tentacles? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, all you do is so make a brand new layer, and I'm just going to use this lasso tool, and you make a shape, right? As long as it's black, it has to be solid. And all you're doing is, since it's on its own layer, just hold Control, click inside this layer, it'll select it, and then you just reduce the selection by whatever your line art is. So usually it's like 3, we'll say, and then you just select white and fill it with white. That's it. I have it obviously saved to an action so that I can just press a button to do all that instead of having to manually do that every time. But that's all you do. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I know, Shane. It's weird. What do they call it again? I can never remember the name. It's not actions. It's auto action. Right here, you can just click that. I have mine set up over off screen, but it's actually even cooler than Photoshop's. You can have it off to the side and map it to a button if you want, or you could actually have it as like a little window that you can bring on screen, change it to button mode, so it's just floating there and you just click what you want. So you can do the shapes like I did, and then you just click a button that says whatever you want to do. So it's pretty cool. Who here uses a G pen when they're inking in Manga Studio 5? I used to use that. I think that was the brush I used in Manga Studio 4, if I remember right. This guy's hands are going to be covered, so just erase that. Maru, that's the brush, right? Is that the one we used? Maru? Is it the second brush? The mapping pen. Yeah, the mapping pen is the mapping pen the Maru brush? Because that's the one we use. That's the one. Because you get some really nice sharp lines with that, right? If I remember correctly. It's been a bit. Use the default, guys. I think you're right, Matador. I think you are. I think you're right on that. Okay, so let's put some faces on these guys. Yeah, Doug Hills is a great guy. I don't know him personally. I know him just as much as you guys probably all know him. I don't have his book near me, but the Manga Studio 4, how to use Manga Studio for Dummies, I think it was. That's like the only Dummies book I've ever bought, and it helped big time. Nice. There you go, Justin. Now you're getting into the meat and potatoes. Matador is addicted to installing brushes. Daub brushes. How you say that name? Dab brushes, inks. I think that I've heard. I don't know if it was you, Matador, but people keep bringing it up. Friendin, you hear about all the time, but this one you're saying is I'm noticing it more and more. Unless it's you, just keep saying it over and over again. PJ, more Jesop, John, your machine. Thanks, man. To be fair, this is the only project. This is the only thing I'm working on. There's been a few. I've been very lucky to have people ask me for cover work and like even comic page work, and I gave them a quote. And most people usually like I increase my just give you guys some inside baseball, which is kind of fun. But if you guys are ever you're not sure if you should increase your wages or something like that, here's a fun tip. So I mean, first, obviously, you got to get to a point where people are actually wanting to, they come to you to pay for you, that kind of thing. But if you're fortunate enough to get there, and you're working on your own thing, it's very hard for me to not find time for like somebody else's cover. Like I could take cover work a lot often, more often than I could like page work. Like that's a lot of work, right? So to me, it's two things. One, it's taking time away from my own thing that I want to do, which that's huge to me. It's super. This is very important to me. Okay, just being able to do my own thing. I have a day job. I get paid. I don't need more money. I know that sounds weird, but that's the angle to go. You could also just go. Now you can increase your rate to something you'd probably be like. If I send this, they're not coming back to me, right? So let's just say like a cover. We'll say $150 to do a cover. That might be low to some of you guys. I don't know, but let's say it's 150, and you just throw it out there because people are asking you for covers, and they're just like, no, I can't pay that. Thanks anyway. Cool. So you still get to. You didn't. I didn't really want to work on that stuff too much anyway. But every now and then you'll get the people that'll say, yeah, sure, it's no problem, and then we're talking. Now you're making some cash, and it's good. So I'd recommend trying something like that if you're looking at trying to increase your rate or something, or if you don't actually have time to do stuff, you can always say no, right? But in case you wanted to see if you can push the bar a little bit. Matador Daub Daub. I can't read. I swear to God. Matador. So the sort of following Jonathan 3 years ago, I never seen him so committed to a project as he is this one. I remember when he was going to do draw Castle Dracula. I still want to draw Castle Dracula so bad. Thank you for that, Matador. And really, the main reason for all that stuff of why I've never been so committed was that thing that I talk about, that creative paralysis. And because of that, every project I would do, it didn't matter the project. I love all the ideas that come up. Most of us artists, we can come up with ideas we do come up with ideas all the time. How to draw them and stuff, that's the harder part. To write it, that's the hardest part. But all these ideas always pop up, and this is what happens. So you start a new project, or I would start a new project, and I would run into roadblocks. Like I would write myself into a corner. I don't know how to get myself out. I would design something, but the designs weren't coming along. The main characters didn't look very good, or whatever, right? And once I would start running into like the pain points of the project, now the brain has to work because let's say writing is a great example. I have to rewrite myself out of a hole that I've dug myself into, and I'm not an experienced enough writer to be able to do that. I could draw it, but I couldn't write it. So I would start getting those pain points of like, how am I going to fix it? And the only way to fix it is to write more. Write the crap. Just write it, even though it sucks, and put it out there. Even it's going to suck, just like your first drawings, right? But it gets better over time the more you do it. And I realize that more so now. But back then, those pain points would come up, and I would all of a sudden get a brand new idea while I'm walking to work and go like, man, there's something there, and spend the next week or 2 weeks fleshing out that new idea, and the same cycle would repeat itself. So again, thank you so much, Matador, for what you're saying about the commitment part. Really, all it is, guys, is I'm going into this project. I'm excited about it because it's actually moving forward. But I know going into it that it's most likely going to be. I don't want to say trash, but it's going to just be like throwaway stuff. If I don't expect it to be, held in any kind of a high regard. If people enjoy it, obviously that's great, but I'm not expecting a lot from it. Even though I'm going to put some serious time and effort into it, it's all just to help with learning, right? And just changing that sort of mind flow as well for myself has helped me big time. It's kept me just this. It makes it so like like I was just saying, if somebody asks me for work, I can also just go like in my own head. It's Castle Dracula's always there. There's a bunch of them. Squirrel God was another one. God Slayers. They're all books that I would love to be able to, or stories that I would love to be able to tell. And one day we will. But one thing at a time. Oh man, I love that hairstyle on your critters. Thanks, man. And for those of you that are new, that maybe didn't see them, these are what the guys look like on their face. You don't really see them. It's a really complicated angle. I don't know. I'm trying to push like it's cute design stuff for sure. For storytelling purposes, they look the way they do. But the trick is trying to, and I'm just starting to understand it now because I didn't put the work into it in the beginning. But like this flap thing, that's their face, doesn't make much sense. So it's a ball with like this shape wrapped around it with like this weird triangle nose. I broke it down. It looks simple, but I'm having a lot of trouble, especially with these angles here. That's why I've kind of done them like top down. It's like it's weird. The flap almost turns into like a helmet or something. I don't know what's going on. So almost every stage of this whole project is like just learning. It's hilarious. And I can most likely say, and the reason why I come up with all this stuff, and why I tell you guys too, if you guys want to do comics, you got to be making comic pages because, like I said a little earlier, or even a couple streams ago, people were asking, and I still get. Actually, somebody asked me today, sent me an email saying, what should they study in anatomy and all that, and they want to do comics and blah blah blah. It's still the same. If I could go back in time, I would just do comic books like 80% of the time, and anatomy and perspective and all that stuff like 20% of the time. Because like I'm even finding it out now. I haven't drawn like a whole lot of comic pages in my day. And because of that, like a weird angle like this isn't an angle that you normally willingly draw, I don't think. You normally it's straight 3/4. Drawing a back, nobody does that. Most people don't do that. For good reason, because it's not fun. There's nothing cool about the back. But in a comic book, you have to, right? Because that's how you're telling story. So that's why I say I would recommend 80% of the time you're doing this stuff so that when you're studying, you're like, okay, I really need to figure out what it looks like when you're looking down on somebody. If that makes sense to you. I hear you writing is a drag only because I'd rather draw. Yep. But I feel I'm getting more confident with the dialogue and stuff. And I've shared with you guys how I write this. I don't do scripts. It's mostly like the Marvel method, give or take. Um, I don't want to do scripts. Down the road, I'm sure, like if I knew this was going to be like a graphic novel or something like that, then I maybe would. But for the most part, just don't even care. Like I said with the throwaway stuff, right? If I know them, just this whole thing's like a learning process. So I've got to creatively figure out how I'm gonna get myself out of stuff I write myself into. But I do plot an entire thing before I start drawing it. And the plotting is difficult in and of itself, but it's not like I'm writing the script. I don't want to do all that. I'd rather do like what you're saying, Matador. If I know the plots and the beats of what I'm doing, then I can just do that and focus on that and then just illustrate those to the best of my ability. And in time, I'm sure, like, it's like anything else. You'll get better. Anyway, It's all fun. Fun, fun, fun. So they got like these little slave collars on and stuff. Ben. Hey, Ben. How's it going, man? Did I say hello to you? I don't know if you just popped in. Hey, John. What do you think about mixing up the angle of a shot as if you were switching camera lenses? Do you think about that? What kind of lens would you use? Um, Give me one quick second here. Okay, I might have to take a break in a second for a phone call, but just to answer your question there. So like Justin's saying, I will answer your question 1 second here, Ben. Justin's saying he has to work with the script. Everybody's what I'm glad Justin's saying there is great because what works for me doesn't work for everybody. I just know how uh, again going back to like what I was saying, I would always get myself into a wall where I have to figure out, especially when I would script stuff, like how do I write myself out of this? And I always found that if I'm sitting and I'm worrying about scripting, this is just me, okay? Scripting, nothing's being drawn, and I feel like there's no momentum happening, and it comes to a crawl. Again, if I knew I was doing this like for a graphic novel, let's say, like a Kickstarter, or I don't know, right? And where it needed to be a little bit more tighter, then I'd probably spend the time to do that for sure. But since I know what this isn't meant to be anything amazing. It's just for me having fun. I just need to know the plots, and then I'll just write it as I go. And I know that's not doesn't work for everybody, but there's give and take. If you have, I would say anyway, if you're like me, and you get locked up at like of all places the script stage, I would probably try just doing plots, like one sentence plots, and then each plot is a page. Or you can stretch it out. Like an example would be, let's say, good guy fights bad guy. That's a plot. That's a plot point, right? And you might devote 3 or 4 pages to that. And then when you get to drawing, you get the thumbnail, like 4 pages of the fight. You don't need to go panel one, bad guy punches good guy in the face. Panel two, bad guy is standing over good guy with the look of, like, if it works for you, do it. But if you feel like you just need that push to get drawing, you can escape all that and just do plots. Anyway, so to answer your question, John, do I think about mixing up angles? Yeah, I do all the time. I guess I don't want to say rules, but here, let's open up. I'll just show you an example anyway from one of these last pages we did. Okay, so this shot here, it looks flat. I don't think I probably sold it well enough, the first panel. It's supposed to be underneath her a little bit. And the reason for that is if she's kind of flying over us, it puts us underneath of her to sort of give her a little bit more power in the shot. In this panel here, we zoom out, so she's pretty small, so that I can show the establishing shot of where they are now. But I'm also using that composition to enclose her with spiky things because danger's coming up in her part of the story. And then here she's just sort of coming closer at us, and then here we're gonna have the lightning bolt coming down. Now, a lot of these shots are pretty flat, but when you look at hopefully anyway on this, in this page, now we're like above looking down. And the reason I wanted this shot here is it sort of separates them, but it removes us a little bit so we're not with them. And I don't want I want an emotional connection here, but not in this first panel. When we get into these next 2 panels, it's close up. We're on like eye level with these guys, and you're gonna see them like with the tears in their eyes and stuff. So hopefully that brings us in close with them, and we can't really escape. But what you're asking, I highly yes, you might not, and I don't get it right every time or even close, but definitely be aware of how can I stage my camera in. And I think about it like a film too. What's a good shot, like an angle that I could use to tell this certain story point better. You, again, do everything you can and use everything you can at your disposal to tell a better story. I think as long as you're doing that, uh, you'll be okay. It's tricky, but you'll be alright. Yeah, Matt, I try it out, man. I showed it yesterday. Here, I'll show it to you real quick. Like, if you really want to get on the ground running, one sec, I'll show you. And I may have showed you this before. So, who do the super easy one? Apologize if you guys have already seen this to death. So grab 3 note cards. I recommend legit note cards, like index cards. I've always got some usually around me. Like, is this an actual story? No. So like right here, I just got some here. They're just index cards. You can use post-it notes, whatever. Um, you go to the dollar store, get stacks of these things. I like to tape them up on my wall while I'm plotting stuff out. But anyway, I like these because I don't know, it just feels like I get away from the computer and I can just sort of be by myself with it. So you just grab 3, and I put BME on them for beginning, middle, and end. So once I have here, there's what I love about it is you get 2 options, right? One, you can, if you know the idea or the story you want to tell, you can grab another note card, put it up here, and just write what it is or what your theme is, like murder is wrong, or you could just say like, uh, you know, mechs versus aliens. I know I'm not writing Shakespeare here. I'm just gonna go super easy with you, okay? So you can have it there, so you always remember. It's hard to forget that, but if you don't have that, then you could always start with like maybe you have an ending in mind. Like I want to see a hero die, maybe something like that, right? So we're just gonna go with the mechs versus aliens, whatever it is, and then I always start with the end. I want to know what the end is, and I'm gonna show you why. For me, it works. So the ending, what do I want at the end of the mechs versus aliens? Maybe we put. I'm gonna go super easy, so I don't have to think about this here. So mechs save the world, and be very short with what you're writing on these index cards. Don't put sentences. Just simple. Okay, and then the beginning is the complete opposite of that. So mech saving the world. So in this case, and I'm using the most literal thing, aliens invade Earth. And the middle card is what happens between the beginning and the end. What is the thing that makes that switch happen? So maybe it's I know. Here we go. Um, I'll put that. Okay, so the middle part here is teenagers discover supernatural powers. So I'm going with the Power Rangers theme in my head here, but I was gonna say alien powers, but the aliens are invading, so you're done. So literally right here, there's your story. You're done. Okay, and if you're working like me, your plot style, this is it. Okay, and there's your 3-page comic. One page is all this aliens invade Earth, then that and that. If you want, you can fatten it up. You can go, okay, I want aliens invading Earth to take up 2 pages. I want this middle one to take up 2 pages. I want the end to take up 2 pages. Now you're up to 6. Or you can do what I do after this is I put a beginning, middle, and end for each of those cards and do the exact same thing I just showed you, and that gives us 9 cards. So now that's 9 pages, and you can keep doing that, right? Or if you just want to just thicken this up a little bit, almost like a cartoon TV show, and this is super simple. Just grab 2 more note cards and write in what happens in between these things, right? So what happens between aliens invading Earth and teenagers discover supernatural powers? What's the transition that happens there? Uh, we'll say aliens. I don't know. Blow up school. That's horrible. So aliens invade Earth. They blow up a school. Teenagers discover supernatural powers, um, and the new powers give them super suits, super mechs. Sorry, right? That's why I wrote this down so we don't forget. So here we go. So now we got a 5-page story. Aliens invade Earth. Aliens blow up a school. Teenagers discover supernatural powers. New powers give them super mechs. Mechs save the world. Cool. So you can even do 2 or 3 pages. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how easy this friggin' thing is. It's not the best. I told you. What I'm saying is that I'm coming at this from an artist perspective, and this is all I need. And then when I go into thumbnails, I can put little like ideas of what I think the text would be, and really the scripting I would say is mostly just dialogue. It's not exterior panel one daylight daytime. That stuff. You can do all that. You know where I'm coming at. I hope with all that. Anyway, give it a shot. See if you like it. I don't quite mean composition, but rather wide angle versus narrow shot. I've got an example of. I used this tech just the other day and talked about it in a video. I think it's great. Oh, I think so. I think I know what you're talking about. Framed Ink talks about those different angle shots. It depends what you're doing. I like for me these pages they're 8.5 by 11, and I don't like having the exact same style panels all the time. So if you look at like even this one, this might be a wide angle shot here. This one probably a wide angle shot. Same things down here. You got an under shot and above shot, and this one's just breaking it for hopefully impact. Um, but regardless of whatever, maybe I'm still not talking about what you're trying to say. Regardless of what it is, again, whatever is going to make the story better, in your opinion, study as much of it as you can. Whatever is going to make you a better storyteller. So if anatomy is that thing that's going to make you guys a better storyteller, color is going to be a better storyteller. It's good to look at them. Because what we're doing is we're all telling stories with comics, right? We're writing here, what is it, hieroglyphs? But instead of on stone, we're doing it in paper. Okay, so we got this, and we just got to put a little backpack. Yeah, it definitely gets a story going. And like I said, how long did that take? That took no time at all. Obviously, I knew I was going in there with a campy, cheesy. I mean, oh, okay. I'll be right back, guys. Let me just get this here. How's it going, guys? Sorry, that phone call was a little longer than I expected. That's what happens with family calls. Anyway, let me just catch up with what you guys are saying, and then we're gonna get back to drawing. Wow, this stream just went to crap. Why is everything blurry? Anyway, okay. Thank you guys for sticking around. Uh, hey, David, I don't know if you're still here or not. Dead Inside, how's it going? Welcome back, man. Fee's all about them Pomodoros. Christopher Hagen, how's it going, man? I believe this is your first time on the stream, right? This font is a font from Battle Chasers. I believe it's just called Joe Mad after Joe Madureira. You can search for that. I think it's a paid font. There might be a free one you can kind of get. How's it going, Davon? Just a little nap tip for you guys. Try this out. My girlfriend, she just is very anti these style of naps, but I'm telling you, just try it, see if it works for you. Is set your timer for 15 minutes. Just press it, lay down, and just try to just be by yourself with no noise or nothing. The stuff I was trying to read, because if I read it, then it had to be true, right? Anyway, I always felt like when I would take naps, you get that groggy when you wake up. So the stuff I was looking into was basically saying, I guess after a certain point when you sleep, right, you start going into like REM sleep or that kind of stuff. And I forget the stages that there are, but basically if you sleep for I think it's like 20 minutes, getting into the 30-minute mark, that's the part where it's like your brain starts releasing some relaxation stuff, so that if you get up during that time, you're gonna be in pure grog mode. And if it's like an hour or something like that, like you still haven't given yourself enough time to get ready to go to sleep. Your body's shutting down. So the 15 minutes is like the sweet spot. So now when I take naps, that's what I do. I set it for 15 minutes, and it's not enough to fall asleep, but it's enough to feel like you fell asleep a little bit. And I don't feel that grogginess anymore. So try that if you guys like naps. I do a nap every day, but that's because I'm an old man. So I have to have my naps. Oh, so tired. Comics are a lot of work. uh, I couldn't say that with a straight face. That's Time sure does fly when you're drawn, Justin. You are right. For me, I can only take a nap in my car for a good 10 minutes. How do you feel, David, when you take a nap for 10 minutes? Does it feel pretty good? You feel alright? Stay in the place where you live. Wrong. Yeah, it's wrong REM for sure. Okay, let's move along. So I'm not going to bed until I finish this freaking page, because at least then, oops, I think I forgot my timer. At least then this whole friggin' the line art stage is done, so we can get into the inks for frick's sake. For frick's sake. My brother once told me about an old military trick where you sleep with something in your hand. When you fall in REM land, you'll drop the thing, make a noise, and wake yourself up. That sounds like it would make sense. You guys can Google too. Oh, what the hell? What was it called? It's like forget something about naps. Just Google something about like how long should I nap for, something like that. And there's like images you can look at if you guys don't feel like reading, like studies and stuff like that. Pretty sure between 10 and like 15 minutes was like the sweet spot. So like I'll come home from work and I'll like sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I'll just feel like you guys probably do. When you come home from school or wherever you're coming from, or you're just tired, it's like, ugh, like I am not focused. The last thing I want to do is sit down and draw. Even when I was working my retail jobs and stuff, there was loads of days. There was like inventory or something, and you're just like, and you get home, then you eat, and then you got a full gut and stuff, and you're like, no, I'm gonna watch some Seinfeld. Your brain's not going to disagree with you. You know, it wants you. You feel it. You got the feels. You know, when you're at work and you're like, I can't wait to go home. I'm going to kill it. And as soon as I get home, boom, draw fest. And then you actually go through the whole shift of work. And then it's like, no, no, we got a full gut. Let's just sleep. Let's just sleep our life away. I usually do a quick nap during 1 hour lunch break. My man. Power naps. Yeah, I think. Hey, Kendry, how's it going? Ben, my problem is I like to sleep too much. Do you exercise? One thing it's supposed to be a real thing, probably makes sense, is if you actually exercise, it counters this tiredness that we always feel. Like the more exercise you do, the more your body, like it just stores energy better, so you've got more energy to burn in the long run. So that's why like when people first start working out, like good luck. The idea of working out is like, do you know how much work and energy that's gonna take even to just get there? Now, I'm good. But if you can find some way to probably sneak in some exercise, God knows I need it too. But I started doing that DDP yoga. That's some good shit. I wanted to get into the yoga stuff just for the stretching because I sit all day, and because of marketing, I picked up the DDP yoga stuff. It's pretty good. I've noticed that I don't probably just before Christmas. I mean, maybe even like October. It was bad, guys. Like I'd come home, boom, out for like an hour. I would always try like the 16-minute stuff. Sometimes I do like 2 or 3 of those 16-minute naps over like a few hours. And I'm at work sitting at a computer drawing, so it's not like I'm lifting cinder blocks here, right? But just getting back into that exercise routine, like in yoga might not seem like whatever, but I can notice not a slimming of the waistline, but I'm not like I don't nap when I get home anymore. Once in a while I might. I don't know. You guys try that out. I do actually. The winters really suck on my agenda. And drawing is Justin's workout. I like it. Okay, why is this guy? What am I missing? That. Hey, Papa. How you doing, Jojo? Being a good boy? All right. I might have to play with these wand settings. I keep missing these little spots. Okay, let's put that underneath there. Alright, so it's pretty sure we got panel 1 done now, right? Thank you, finally. God. And we'll just put some little whatever here for the background. Do like rocky stuff. Okay. So that's done. Panel 2. Jesop. Where are you? There you are. Hey, Papa. What's up? You come to draw too? You gonna draw some pictures for me? You gonna do my spot blacks? Because I don't want to fill them all in. How's this look here? Go back. Hey, Papa. I can't pay you. Alright, so we can get the big old fat teary eye stuff going on now. These guys need some rescuing. You need the big Papa? Yeah. You can come draw for me. We'll put you to work. You want to do some flats? Huh? You want to do some flats, uncredited work? Hey? You want to do some writing? What do you want to do? You want to eat? You want to eat and judge me? Tell me about Alright, what are you guys saying there? Sorry I missed. What font how to use? I've been trying to find one that I can use for my comic. This one is, I believe it's called Joe Mad. It's the font that was in Joe Madureira's comic Battle Chasers. I believe it was a paid font when I got it, but the internet is the internet, so you might be able to just find it online for free. Hey, big guy. You little nap. Little cat nap. Alright, these guys good. Cool. Alright, we got that. See you, Rick. Enjoy your sleep, my man. Ben, during a stream a day or two ago, someone commented about oval dialogue bubbles being bad or amateur or something. Is there a right way to making dialogue bubbles? I don't know. I guess what I would say the right. I mean, there's some. I do think there are some good practices for sure, like having enough room around them. Um, I know good placement of ovals is like what Marvel DC do, and all the big magazine style published books. So there's that. Um, but I find that the indie stuff, it's not that it's right or wrong. It's just it's almost anti-establishment stuff. So if Marvel's using ovals, we're all gonna use squares. Do you know what I'm saying? Really, I think whatever just helps accentuate the look of your book. Maybe just try. So if you've got like I don't want to say an amateur style, but if your art is like you're still learning and you know you're not like where you want to be, like I think okay, so most of us, if you know your art looks a certain way, but you wished it looked a lot better, then you're probably still at the amateur stage. If you're at that point where you're confident about what you do, um, you're probably getting you've got some base understandings going on, right? So the art will probably reflect that in some way, and the speech bubbles do the same. So there's lots of stick figure comics that don't even use a speech bubble. They just write stuff and they put like a little dash, right? Like they go like story, 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 and then just like a line like this. And this guy is just a walking stick man. Just whatever usually will fit the the look of what you're doing. So like Marvel DC stuff, that shit is highly like polished, man. Whether you like it or not doesn't matter. They've got the like some of the best colorists. They got theoretically the best of all the crafts working on books, right? You might not like them, like I say, but regardless, you get some excellent colorists, pencilers, storytellers, blah blah blah. So everything's got that clean look to it. What I'm hoping anyway with mine, like mine are just super sloppy, but the reason I'm doing mine this way, let's see if we can go back to a page like I'm not saying they're the best or anything. I'm just hoping it's a little bit more. It's not mainstream too much, but it's sort of got like an indie feel to it because like even if you look at my panel borders, I saw Jersey Joe's do something like this for Boulder and Fleet, and I just loved it. It almost looks like a real inking tool was made to use these panel panel borders, and I didn't want the clean, crisp lines because this just had like a little hand touch to it. So once I started going down that route, like the hand touch kind of look, I'm like, I think the bubble should look like that, like as if I did this freehand, even though they're not. So they're not perfect. Some people will hate them, some people don't mind it, some people just don't care either way. Just maybe try to feel it that way. I guess the only real thing is like the font might not fit. The font might feel too polished. I just want to make sure that it's 100% legible. I don't want to have people doing guesswork with the reading. I'll have them guess what the hell I'm drawing before I'll have them guess what they're reading, you know? Yeah, see, so everybody's got all kinds of things. Manga looks really good. I like the way Manga does theirs too. Sometimes they do weird things, like their whole speech bubble will be like something like this, and in here it'll just be like duh, 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 you know? Or it'll be like never, and then like a little. Just have fun with it. I will say this: as long as you're thinking about it, you're probably a lot. You're better off than just going through the motions of just putting in whatever the hell. Because lettering, a comic can and most likely will be destroyed, no matter how good your art is, by poor lettering. It's almost feels like a little misstep. Like you could slave. A good example of this is Steve Lichman. It's better now, but the first few stories that Dave was doing, even Starvale that I was showing you guys the other stream there, I don't think Dave really knew what the hell he was doing with the speech bubbles. I think he was just kind of putting words in there with like like a here's an oval with like straight lines in the next one. He may have thought of what he was doing. I don't know. I don't know what his thought process was behind it, but seeing like Steve Lichman now and stuff, like it's definitely better. But like, there's just certain things that you can do with your lettering that'll just make it better. You know, like again, the spacing, trying to get things to fit into a shape. Hopefully, if you can get that. One of the big ones is the letter I. You know, if it's in a word. See, this one's funny because like in this font, actually, I guess it doesn't even matter because this one doesn't have capital I. I don't even. I guess I'm not. I don't even care. Funny. It's interesting. I imagine the font's got it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. You ever use white font on a black bubble? I like the way that looks. Yeah, the only time I've done that, nothing in this story within a black bubble, but like if it's a bad guy, like Spawn kind of stuff, that always look cool. I've done this sort of thing. What is that, page 7? I don't know if this is right. No. Here, we'll just do this. So this here, page 8, like something like this at the bottom, where it's just like that black panel with the white. But this is more in line because I wanted the silhouette, so it all sort of fits in together. Um, but I love that stuff too. I think it looks really slick because it's so different, right? Like if everything looks this way, as soon as you get somebody with black speech bubble with white text or red text or something, you're like, okay, it changes the voice willingly, like unwillingly, right? Like some people they just read a comic and it's their own voice. Some people put voices to things. But as soon as that's the power of comics, man. As soon as you go like in this case I'm going to put the black uh it's a different sound. It's not the same. It's not the same tone, it's not the same voice, all that stuff. In Clip Studio, is there a way to reduce the opacity of the brush? That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever figured that out. I think it's down here, dude. Under your tool property, I see something that says brush opacity. Amount of paint, you can just fiddle with that. I don't know if it's in everything, but just check your tool property, it might be in there. Yeah, no problem. I hope it helps, man. again. And the background. All right. So that one's down. Yes, we're almost done this here. Simple page. Is there a playlist for all the private Patreon videos, or are they listed somewhere? Yeah, they're on. Are you? Sorry, Ben. Are you on Patreon? Oh, you mean on YouTube? Is there a playlist? I don't know. I probably. Thanks for bringing that up. I probably should put one on there. Um, because there's some videos that are on YouTube, and then the earliest ones you could download the videos. I believe you could stream them through Patreon. I'm not sure. And then there's some that are just text and pictures. So if you're asking specifically for the YouTube ones, no. But I'll definitely look into making one. Sorry for making you do legwork there. Regardless, if you're on Patreon, you can on the left, I believe there's if you go on my page there, there's like tags, and you can just click. I'm pretty sure I tag everything $3. Could be wrong, or tutorials or something like that. You can search them that way. If I now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't even know if I'm pretty sure I have something like that. If not, I'll look and add that for you. Or are you on the other side of it? You're just like you don't know. You want to see what's there before you start pledging to see if it's worth it. Because that's actually really good. I should probably make a video or something to let you guys know about that. I just got a Patreon the other day for the first time, so I'm not totally familiar with the layout. Okay. I don't even know if I could show you. Here, you know what? Let me just check something off screen. So if you guys are interested, give you some kind of what Patreon's looking like right now. Anyway, some of it I can't show because it's just obviously locked with certain things. So let me just see here. Let me just see. Do a little sharesy poo. Okay, so today, yeah, we put up a. Okay, so here, I'll just bring this up to show you guys here. Yeah, so if you go here, buddy, just go to my main page right here, and featured tags. You haven't featured any tags. Learn how to feature tags. Okay, I'll look into this. But you're looking for like this kind of stuff. You can just click Scribble Chat if you want to listen to all the podcasts that I've done, or the little like audio essay kind of stuff. And I believe, let me just see here. There's a lot of tags. Jesus. Oh, here you go, right here. You go down to type. You can just click $3. So it'll filter everything that's $3. And if you're a Patreon, there's some here. I guess I've got 25 public posts. Really? I should click these and take a look. But yeah, you just click that and you'll be good to go. For everybody else, yeah. So this one was released. I went through. I think it's like a 40-minute video showing how I colored Jesop King with all the settings and all that stuff. Let me just scroll through some of this stuff. Started doing this. Added a. Click these off here. Comic tutorial, so you guys can with a poll, you guys can determine what the next tutorial will be. I have one. You can actually make posts now and schedule them. So there's another one. I think it's coming out February 1st or 2nd with some other options on there. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Or Patreons or Scribble Chats. This one was, oh, how do you critique a popular artist's work? Some process stuff. I gotta upload that for you guys too. Actually, let me just show you guys in case you guys are interested here. Let's take a look here. So what are the tutorials so far? Oh, right, it's taking account of this. So that, I go in depth here about how I use silhouettes for comic pages. Jesop King issue 1 process of writing of thumbnails. I just realized I probably shouldn't be showing some of this, just like private links. But anyway, you get the idea. This one was for a project called the Hero Code, and I go through how I take a script, or how I took a script, and what I did to make it into a thumbnail to get into like a final page. This one was kind of cool. Went through the Jesop King trade. When it was a trade paperback anyway, it's just me going through the video showing like notes and stuff of how to build up, or how I was building up the background stuff for the comic and stuff. Hey Dad, how's it going? Welcome back. David, John, how come you don't use focus or action lines? Oh, okay. I do, just not right now. So you might not be familiar with what's going on. The way that I do these pages are I work in batches. So we do the thumbnails, then we do the roughs or the silhouette method, then we do what I'm doing right now, the line art, then I do the inking, and then I do the coloring. It might seem like it's a lot of extra steps. It's actually, for me anyway, it's super quick. But the speed lines, sometimes I add them in this stage, or I wait to the inking to see if it needs it. So like this one's a good example where I put some speed lines in there too, and then I just color them, right? It just needs it. I find anyway, right? Like, so I'll add them here, right, when I'm trying to like get you to look into her eye kind of thing. But then here, when Momo's doing like an explosion of fire kind of thing, this was all black speed lines too, by the way. And I don't know if we have them. Oh yeah, there is this page too as well, where she's yelling and we got the focus lines. I don't. I mean, once we get into action and fighting, you guys are probably gonna see a shitload of that stuff. But right now, it's just people talking. And honestly, this page right here, that I'll probably add some here too, actually. But this page that we're doing, or this batch of 4 pages, really, it's all about, at this point, story and emotion. I'm trying to, like, this is the big plot, I guess, of the story. So speed lines and stuff don't make sense here, in my opinion. again, it's all I'm trying to make the reader, you guys, feel empathy for these new little creatures that are here. So, but yeah, I use speed lines. Don't worry, they're there. They're there. I wonder if there's a way to filter by video. Those go back pretty far. I don't know if there is. I apologize. I can look into some sort of like cataloging it for you guys. Because I'm with you. If you're looking for something specific, I guess even are you looking more for like a topic to see if that you want to watch that kind of thing? Because I guess with like the playlist or something, you can just click it right and go like, okay, I see all of these things, and I'm gonna watch this one or that one. Makes sense. Hey, how's it going, Dad? Bought the DC Guide to Digital Comics a while ago. Now I'm trying to buy a Cintiq to complete the conversion. You can use a. I feel like it's funny, guys. We have the same small conversations all the time. You don't need a Cintiq to use that book or whatever. The author, Freddie Williams, there, he uses bamboo. That's like the cheapest tablet you can use. But if you don't like tablets or something, I understand. The only reason I bring that up is don't feel like you have to have a Cintiq in order to use the workflow or whatever. In case you were thinking that. Um, do you worry about safe zones on the edge of the page? As far as the videos go, I don't really want a specific topic. I just like watching videos. Oh no, no problem, Ben. Are you a patron right now? Because like I say, there's going to be, or there was a poll anyway, but it'll come out in February for February's video. So and always anything you guys watch, if you guys are patrons or whatever, you guys always get 100% the first like whatever content you guys want. I'll always take what you guys say first as opposed to what like I want to post. It's you guys are the priority for that stuff. You guys are the ones actually putting money out, right? So in my opinion, it's almost like Patreon's like me, right? But I'm servicing the fans. So you guys give me money, which I'll always be grateful for. So I get to do this. But I would do this either way, right? I would do this regardless. So the fact that you guys help me do it lets me put more time into it, which is great. But at the same time, it's sort of the way Patreon now is and has been for a while, where it's like, okay, well now that you pledge, here's your support, here's your reward, your goodie, right? Um, and not everybody can afford to pay me. I understand that. But for those that do, I want to give something special in which way I can. So the tutorial sort of thing is just focus on that. And actually, like I'm very grateful to say the first goal, I guess the mark I think was $250 a month, and that's actually getting closer. I didn't think it would get even close to that, which is great. And it's like a Patreon only tutorial. So it's like the old videos I used to do, the condensed ones of like a topic. So it's gonna be interesting to see, going forward, what's gonna happen with this stuff. Because the more money you make in it, which is always a good thing. I'm not complaining about that, but it's finding new content, fresh content that people are interested in hearing and stuff. So I'm just hoping that I'm trying to put Jesop King pages out. You guys will get access already to all the first 8 pages, and then like I say, these are definitely going to be done this weekend. So it seems like a steady update for you guys. It's going to probably be about 2 or 3 updates a week or something. I'm not sure, but you guys always get access to this stuff first. I know, right? This is TikTok again. Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that, man. And what I was trying to say there before I rambled and got into a tangent is, if you go back and you see any of the videos you like of the $3 stuff, if there's something specific you liked or it got you thinking about something, leave a comment. I always get notified whenever somebody leaves a comment, so I can read it. And if it is like a hey, you know, it'd be cool. Can you show me how to draw this or something? I can add it to the poll so the group gets to vote, as opposed to me just randomly picking any more of what content we were gonna or tutorial we were gonna do. Dead. You're losing interest each day. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's only been 2 days since we talked, I believe, right? Do you have anything that keeps you interested in drawing? Actually, you know what? Here, I'm just gonna ask this question to you because I feel like this can go into a. So I know we sort of what's it called? We talked about depression and stuff like that the last time. I'm not gonna get into all that now. I'm not qualified to do that. But and this will probably come across as rude. And I don't mean it to. I'm just doing the real talk here. Is I can't keep like lifting people up. I guess what's a good way of saying it? Not that I don't want to, but there's got to be something in it for you, and that's where I'm sort of asking, like, why are you drawing? What's your goal with art? Is it just because it's a fun hobby? You want to have a career? Because then I could sort of like, help you. I'm not qualified to do anything legit. Um, but if you can't figure out, or if you don't know what it is that you want to do with art, it's not like what do you want to be when you grow up, but like example, I want to be a concept artist. I want to be a comic book artist. If you know that, then I guess some of my feedback I can give you might help a little bit better. And if you don't know, then I would suggest maybe taking some time and just do a little soul searching with yourself and figure out what it is that you want to do with art. If you want art to be like a part of your life, and if you don't want to, I mean, it's better to know that and then not have to go through like all the struggles that everybody has of like I'm not learning quick enough and all that stuff. You don't have to put in all that emotional baggage and stuff. You can actually start spending time being happy with other things, and that's all. If, of course, that's something you're not really into. Um, Ben, my motivation spikes vary a lot as well. Takes work though, and that's really the crux of what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying right now is talking to you guys while I'm drawing. This is fun. It actually makes me go like this goes quicker. I could do pages faster, and I know I'm actually burning midnight oil just doing this because I get to talk to you guys like what I'm doing right now, rambling and not drawing. Um, but I would honestly say like 80 to 90% of even this project is work where I have to struggle, and I don't mean to make this sound um, worse than somebody else's struggle that they're doing, but going to work and coming home to just do pages and pages and it's not 100% enjoyable all the time. Rarely is. There's little moments once the page is done where it's like, oh, finally, this is cool, it's done. That little juice you sip on and it gets you going for the next batch, and that cycle doesn't repeat. So that's why people say you kind of have to love the work you're doing, because that 20% enjoyment you're doing, 80% of it is work, and there's got to be little things in there that keep you happy. And if you can't find those, I would highly recommend either trying to find them or it's not for you, and that's okay. There might be another thing of art that could help you. Um, you want to draw stuff that makes people happy. I love the people's faces and reactions, but so far I can't do anything. All right, well, I mean, I would even dig deeper, man. So you're saying you want to draw stuff that makes people happy. That could be anything, right? I don't think your goal is specific enough. I'm not sure if you've asked yourself yet. So you want to make other people happy. That's great. The best way to do that is to make yourself happy. So what could you draw that's going to make you the happiest? Do you know yet? Have you asked those questions yet? And again, if this is the depression stuff, uh, just let me know because the other you don't want to hear what I'm saying right now. If that's the case, you just want to hear everything will be okay, everything will be better, and we can all do that. That's fine. But if you actually want like some tactics, you let me know. We can keep talking like the way I'm talking. The cool stuff I'm currently not allowed to draw without punishment. Like the stuff I want to draw, I'm not allowed to because of parents and how school is. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like that one's it's almost like a waiting game. You have to wait until you move out or something that you can do it. Uh, because I don't know what other solution there is. You could do stuff in hiding, but it sounds like you're. It sounds like a lot of what you're going through, man, is you're just stuck, and all you can do to get unstuck is just wait. So maybe the happiness you can find is like just knowing that sooner or later you're going to be through all that stuff, and then you get to just draw whatever's going to make you happy, man. Or maybe you're in a situation, or I know you said you're still in high school and stuff, but I'm just gonna put out there. Some people might disagree with me on this one, but maybe now, in case you aren't, I'm spitting on my screen. Jesus, who needs Windex when you can spit, right? Disgusting. But maybe something what you need to focus on is okay. Now start getting your game plan set up for like getting a job. Go get a job, a stupid job, and just start saving your money so you can move out as soon as possible. Because I'm just saying, from an outside, I don't know anybody's situation, but if what I'm hearing is when if I'm in a place, in this case it's your home and family, so there's other things in there. But if you're stuck in a place that's making you unhappy, you cannot stay there. You cannot because it's not making you fulfilled, and if that's the sadly in this case it sounds like that's the family aspect. But it's toxic and it's almost like being normal, we'll say, and your parents are alcoholics. You love them, you want to be happy, but they in lots of ways they don't show you a way to be happy, right? You gotta leave. You gotta find a way to leave. And I'm not saying run away. Don't run away. Be smart about this. You're a smart person. You're asking for help, clearly, right? Just just squirrel away your money. Don't lose. I mean, I don't know. You gotta wait apparently because there's nothing you can do. Everything you're doing is like a prison around you, really, right? So just draw things that you can. Study your anatomy. Study your perspective. Draw angel comics. I know. That sounds like the absolute worst. Just draw comics that you can still gain your mileage while you're stuck in your little cell here, so that once you've squirreled away enough money, you can go move out, you can live your life, and they can not like what you do, but it doesn't matter anymore. You're you, and you get to prove them wrong that you love what you do so much that now you're making a living off of it, and you're actually happy. And they still might not like that, right? But that's not your problem. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're okay. Is it like your parents won't get you? If you were drawing angel comics, just play along with me for a second here. If you were drawing like angels and in God's armor and all that stuff, because I know your parents are religious here, and that's what like the crux of the problem. Um, would they allow you to draw and have sketchbooks and stuff if all you did was fill it with God is great images and that stuff? You know what? I almost feel like you put them on. I'll talk to them. I'll ask them what the hell. They would still hate angels. Okay, so what? Okay, so two questions here. One, can you get a job? And I mean even flipping burgers. And two, why wouldn't they? What would they be okay with you drawing? Oh, they just hate that you draw. Maybe you need to talk to them, man. They're just parents, right? They're just people. Maybe you gotta ask them, like, maybe you have. I don't know. Seems like there's. I know this is just a stream, and there's. You just came in, but I don't. It just seems like there's something's not adding up here. There's like a missing piece of information here. Hey, Chad, how's it going, man? Well, I can't keep probing, man. I'm trying to help. The only thing I could say is either you're gonna have to talk to them, or you're gonna have to wait until you move out. And those both probably sound like really crappy things, and I don't know your full story. So something's got to give here, right? Either you got to give in, or they got to give in, or there's got to be some sort of halfway ground, or you're just gonna have to do what you can. Go mow lawns, pick cans, go to the library, draw at the library, go do something. You gotta do something to get out. You have to get out of the situation. You don't sound happy, and don't give up. Giving up, just nothing's gonna get fixed from that. You have to jumpstart something. And if this is the depression stuff, again, I can't help you with that. I'm not. I can't relate to it, and the information I'm giving you is not going to help you, right? If that's the case, because all you really need is somebody just to listen to you. Like, what are they doing right now? What are your parents doing right now, man? I'm with PJ on that as well. To be fair, I'm not saying it's not, but he said that he goes to a Catholic school, so they don't let him draw what he wants. He wants to draw basically what he it sounds like anyway. He loves Jason Voorhees pictures of like violent things, right? And I'm assuming there's a mixture of all this control in his life that's mixing with that as well. Regardless, doesn't mean he's insane or something. He's not a bad person. Um, and I don't know. Again, everything I'm just filling in some blanks. A lot of religious schools. I went to religious schools pretty much all the time, and in all of them, it was like there's always something wrong with you, and they just start. It's like a lot of structure, and it doesn't sound like structure is what you need, you know. Your counselor agrees with your parents because she saw my drawing of Jason cutting someone's head off. As mentioned earlier, and I go to a Catholic school. Yeah, well, that's not. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, as much as you want to draw, you got really. There's only two choices you got here, and you're gonna have to pick which one you want to do, right? One is you keep drawing what you're drawing and getting in trouble all the time, keep rebelling, right? Or the other one is give in and draw stuff that you can while you can that's going to help you that when you leave your home you can take all that. Like I'm telling you right now, let's say you don't want to wait 2 years, I hear you, but if all you did was draw comics for 2 years if at school or wherever of nice things, you're still going to learn everything you need so when you can draw whatever you want. You can draw Jason cutting people off in some amazing angles and you're going to it's going to look awesome. It's going to look sick and you're going to blow up the horror comic scene like nobody's ever been. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a parents thing. You can't choose your parents, so you're stuck in the situation you're in, right? So you got to make the best of what you can. If you got to wait 2 years, it's like go to prison. That's a horrible way to. Oh man, that sucks. It sucks, but like, what are you gonna do, right? Your options are your options there. Boom, 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 boom. Gonna fix some of these balloons. So I found myself the sun. Oh yeah. Nonin and nonin by the way. Oh yeah. California's mine. See you, Kevin. Thanks for popping in, my man. Is this your bedtime call, Jesop? I know. I know. It's almost time for bed, Papa. Alright, so let's get these going and then we can wrap this up. I know, you don't gotta give me that look. I know. It doesn't even sound like you go to a Catholic school anymore, man. It sounds like some crazy shit. I know, right? Yeah, I agree. Why, buddy? Are you tired, Jojo? Are you tired, buddy? Tired of me? I know. Jojo. I know, buddy. Relax. We're almost done. You're being a cat bully right now. Do you know that? You're being a bully. Okay. Alright, so let me just add a layer above all that. And we'll just fill this in white. Jojo, come on, man. This is unreal. Alright, cool. So this one's done. We're going to hit save. And stop our timer. Hour and a half. 4-page. What page is this? 12. What? What? Chat. Okay, anyway, I'm going to call it now, you guys. Thank you so much. I think, pretty sure we're going to stream tomorrow too. I might go a little bit later. We'll see. We get the 3-day weekend, but I got some running around and stuff to do. But anyway, we'll be doing some streaming and all that cool stuff. Everybody that did participate in the chat today, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the really cool support that you guys give me, and just sticking around with me the whole time we're doing this it's really appreciated. So thank you so much. And if you're watching the recorded version, thank you for watching that. Feel free to leave any kind of comments and stuff if you made it all the way through. If you made it all the way through to this video, just type Jesop King in the comments, and I'll know that you made it all the way through. If you're new to the channel, there's a whole bunch of links on your screen. Feel free to follow me wherever you are. Consider going to Patreon. There's some stuff there. We were showing a little bit of that. But regardless, we're going to get more Jesop King stuff going and all that cool stuff. I'd like to get some shorter videos. I know. I want to record. I might record over the weekend 3 sessions and release them over the week or 2 weeks of those minute gesture warm-ups that we were doing before. It's been a little while since I've done those, so you guys look forward to that if you're interested. And anyway, like usual, you guys keep reading comics, keep making comics. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.